Hey guys, it's Melanie. Hope you're having a great day. I thought we would do a chit chat get ready with me. It's been a few weeks, so let's put some makeup on my face and talk about random things. So actually, today I've been thinking a lot about, because it's June, so it's wedding season. I've been thinking a lot about how insanely grateful I am to not have any weddings this summer. I cannot tell you the amount of anxiety that I don't feel at the start of this summer that I used to just feel every single summer. Well, I would say it started back in like 2015. Like that's when I really started thinking like, oh, how long am I gonna last in the wedding industry? Because when I first started, I thought for sure I was gonna be in the wedding industry for like decades. There was just no way that I wasn't going to not be doing this, right? So at the time I was still, so I got my start in the wedding industry by starting a wedding planning company with a girlfriend. And this girlfriend at the time was actually dating my brother-in-law. And they ended up not working out, but her and I continued to run the business together, which looking back was always kind of weird, but we made it work, right? Anyway, so we did that for a number of years and Stella came along and I got my start with flowers back when we started the company in 2009. I immediately started like doing some floral work, not like officially, but like we would have clients that would be on a tighter budget and they would literally bring flowers to the venue site and we're like, we didn't have time to arrange these. Can you just put these in mason jars or whatever? And I would be like, oh God, okay. So like that is literally how I started doing wedding flowers, and also like flowers would get delivered to venues and we would look at them and just know that that is not what the bride ordered. That is not how she expected these arrangements to turn out. So like it became my job to basically just like fix the arrangements that the other florists brought. So anyway, that was how I got started with flowers. But originally I started in the industry as a planner. So we literally started this company like not knowing anything about the wedding industry in our area. And it was definitely a learning curve. Like it was a lot. Anyway, so around 2015, I had Stella for a few years at that point, and I was doing flowers. I was doing wedding planning. And at the time I was also still doing some makeup on the side as well. And it was just really overwhelming. It was a lot of work. The wedding industry is just a lot of like intense, focused, like concentrated work. And then you're done. Like there are some people that just work during the spring and summer and the rest of the year they don't work at all because they just concentrate on doing weddings every single weekend. So you just kind of get your work out of the way for the year. And that was kind of how I did it for a number of years. Mostly took weddings in the summer. And then like occasionally I would have like a wedding, a few weddings in the fall, like a few in the winter, but like not much. And then doing like some holiday corporate stuff. But anyway, at the start of every single wedding season, I would get the worst anxiety. And like it got worse and worse each year. And man, did that suck. Like there's nothing worse than waking up and like thinking about your job and just being like, ugh, I don't think I can do this. But you have to. Alf, by the way, is in the room here with me and he's currently chewing on a shoe. Stella's shoe. He doesn't like rip the shoes apart. He just like, he sucks. It's so weird. It's so gross. Anyway, I'm going to let her shoe get wet because I've told her to put these shoes away and she did not. So now we're going to learn a lesson about wet feet. She's going to love it. Anyway, where was I going with this? Anxiety, feeling crappy. Yeah, man, having a job where you're like, I am not into this at all, but like knowing that you have like commitments to follow through on is, ugh, that's the worst. So this is the first summer where I don't feel that, and it feels wonderful. I am by no means like, you know, like my brain doesn't have anything that it's like obsessing or anxious or whatever about. Like my brain seems to always be like that. But not having it about this job anymore is so great. I'm loving it. So I get a lot of, what kind of also made me think about this is I've been getting a lot of DMs from people over on Instagram that are sending me like quotes that they got from florists and are like, wow, this seems really expensive. Is this really like how expensive wedding flowers are? And I'm always kind of like, oh yeah. Not gonna lie, I made good money being a wedding florist. And I feel like I did it very ethically. So with my clients, I would charge them labor fees basically. And like basically I would make them pay for my time to like go to the market, to source everything, to like, you know, put it all together, deliver it, set it up, all of that kind of stuff. So I charged like essentially labor fees. And then I passed along the wholesale cost plus a little extra because usually I would have to go back and get additional flowers because some things die, right? So I would build in a little buffer for myself. But yeah, I would just charge wholesale. So I feel like I like went about it very ethically, but being in the weddings industry, I know that there is like this so-called wedding pricing. And, you know, there are people who say like, never tell like your venue or your vendor or whatever that this is a wedding, just lie and say it's a family get together. You're going to have a lot of pissed off vendors on the day of. If you do that, just tell your vendors it's a wedding. Is there wedding pricing? Yeah. Just try to find an ethical vendor, right? Like it's going to take some legwork on your part, but they're out there for sure. I mean, I was one, so I know that there are others. I knew other ethical vendors as well in the industry here. So, but yeah, like don't lie to people and say like, oh, you know, it's just a family reunion. If your photographer, your cake person shows up and they see that it's a wedding, like they're just going to be annoyed. Also, you're probably going to give it away by saying it's a Saturday in June, July, August, or even September. Like, sorry. Venues are all taken up by weddings on most days. If you're gonna have this on the weekend, in the summer, it's probably gonna be pretty obvious that it's a wedding anyway. And you do not want to piss off your vendors because, I mean, they're the ones that are like making your event, right? Anyway, where was I going with this? Pricing. Yeah, so, and flowers are just expensive, you guys, and they're a whole lot more expensive after the pandemic. I mean, for a while there, like what was coming into the market was brutal, like ugly flowers, not in great shape. They just didn't have enough staff at the growers to be able to really produce top-notch flowers for a little while. So, yeah, flowers are expensive. I mean, on average, like my clients would spend probably somewhere between, I would say average, $3,000 to like $4,500. Like that was like the average wedding order with me. So that's including labor, that's including wholesale delivery setup. If there's cleanup, things like that, that's all like involved in that. So yeah, I mean, they're expensive, you guys. But there are vendors that are more ethical than others for sure. But moral of the story is I don't feel any of that anxiety. And I think it's just because I don't have the clients to deal with. I have noticed a definite change in people's expectations over the years. I have always tried to like, you know, when a client first comes to you, they have like, you know, this $25,000 vision in their head, like $25,000 for flowers. And then I had the reality talk of you can't afford that. your budget realistically is probably like $2,500. So let's scale this back. You know, let's keep some nice elements, but you are not going to have a floral arch that will be like, you know, framing the church doors. Like no, you don't have the money for that. So like my job was basically to crush people's dreams, but clients just got like a lot more demanding, and not in the way of, you know, like I completely understand, like it's their wedding day, they're paying a lot of money and they should have like the perfect end result, right? Like for their budget, what they're spending, like everything should look absolutely beautiful. There's no reason for flowers to not look beautiful. They're flowers. Like it's very hard to make them ugly. But yeah, like some of my clients were just beasts to deal with towards the end. Like so many expectations during a pandemic because they had to get married. They could not put it off. Don't get me started on those people. But yeah, like just so many demands that were like so like far above like what was even like remotely possible based on their budget and their venue and what like my company is capable of providing. And then people would just be like mean. And I don't know. If you're gonna be mean to me, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do what you asked me to, but I'm gonna think you're a terrible person. Not that that really does anything to terrible people, but you know, like it just, after most weddings, I would drive away just being like, oh God, these people, I just would never want to see them again. And that was such a change from when I first started in weddings because like I'm still friends with a ton of brides whose weddings I did back in 2012 or 14 or 17, like still friends with like a lot of those people. And I've loved watching their marriages, you know, flourish, kids. There were a couple of divorces, but the divorce rate is 50% in this country, so not entirely surprised by that. And quite frankly, a few of them, like some of the other vendors and I would be like, yeah, we're gonna give this like 3 years tops. And usually if we thought 3 years, it was right around 3 years. So anyway, moral of the story is it feels amazing to not have that anxiety, and that has led me to believe that I made the right decision to no longer do flowers at this time. The great thing about my job though is that like if I ever wanted to like go back and do it again, like I could. Like I wouldn't need to like I just have to make sure that I maintain my market pass, maintain the company name, and just pay that crap once a year, and just keep it around. That part is not terribly expensive, but yeah, like I made the decision to get rid of like my invoicing software, which was kind of expensive. I am going to scale back some other things and just sort of float along for a little bit because it just feels really nice right now. Yeah, feels good. I'm spending a lot more time with Stella, which is really helpful, especially right now. She is coming into that like preteen stage, and you know, we've got some things that we have to like work on. Love Stella so much, but yeah, she's got some stuff. So I'm helping Stella work through all of that. We're gonna have a really fun summer. I'm just looking forward to spending a summer with Stella where she's not asking me like, when are you gonna be home? Are you gonna be gone all day Saturday? Like that got to be hard too, because we like spending time together. Like her and I like doing things together, even if it's just like hanging out and laying in bed and talking. We like doing stuff, and like every summer would come and I'd be gone every weekend and I'd be stressed out, and it just wasn't fun. And Stella was actually one of the reasons why I decided to like pull away from this. Is she started telling me like, Mom, I just don't like it when you do weddings because you're always grumpy. She said that to me. She was like, when you do this, you are not happy. Can you please be happy? And so, yeah, totally right decision for me. I don't ever want to like discourage anyone from like going into the wedding industry, but I think it's just important to remember that like it's intense. There's a lot of emotions, and even dealing with other vendors can be like exhausting, you guys. Like there are a lot of people in the industry in my area that I really like a lot. And there were a ton of people that like every time I had to work with them, I would literally just be like, yeah, you are the worst. Like the sense of entitlement with some vendors and the sense of like, you know, like they are the end all of whatever it is that they do, whether it's photographers or videographers or caterers. It was always funny to me because like the caterers that like thought the highest of themselves always had the worst food. Terrible. But doesn't entirely surprise me. So, but yeah, just be prepared to work with a lot of really big personalities. I feel like the wedding industry has a lot of big personalities in it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would say you need to have a strong personality. You need to be able to blow things off. And you need to not care what other people think about you at all. Like if you can do all those things, I think that you would thrive in the wedding industry, because those are the type of people that do it for years and years and years and literally years. There are some people that I know that have done weddings for like 40 years. Can you imagine? I couldn't. No, not me. What is happening to my face? Okay, so I have one side done. Okay, I should probably wrap this up. Let me finish this other eye. Put on some I look insane right now. Put on some mascara, and then I'm gonna come back and wrap this up. I don't know what the point of this video is, but we're just gonna. All right, thanks you guys. Oh yeah, hello. Sorry, he's having a real hissy fit right now. I don't know what for. Thanks for sitting through that chit chat. Get ready with me. When I got out of the shower this morning and realized that I wasn't feeling that yearly like anxiety of like, ugh, like it's just another summer of like people, you know, potentially being angry about one thing or another. Like it's really nice to not have that. And I like normally, I don't care what people think at all, but for some reason when it came to my business, like that, I mean, I just, you know, you pour so much love and passion and work and time and commitment into something, and then to have like someone just crap on it, yeah, that you know, that would make most people feel like, oh, but why? So anyway, it feels good, and who knows, maybe this is the start of me not necessarily hating every single summer. I'm sure besides the heat, because the heat's a big one for me, but I'm sure another component to me not enjoying the summers really is that it was always a time that was just filled with anxiety and like rushing around and just like hoping that what I was doing was like up to someone's, you know, standards. So anyway, I feel like I made a really good decision is the moral of the story. If you guys are ever curious about like more wedding insights, like industry insights, let me know if you have some topic suggestions, and I can tackle those during some of these chit chat get ready with me. So leave them down below or send me a DM on Instagram. If there's anything that you're curious about, I'll certainly tell you about it from my perspective. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I will link everything that I used on my face in the description box down below. So if you're curious about, you know, what the blush or whatever was, check out that description box. Please subscribe if you're new, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.